Hey y'all! Привіт! Сьогодні я хочу сказати вам, що не є важко вивчати українську мову, якщо вже знаєте інші слов'янські мови, наприклад, російську мову. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the Ukrainian language and how much of it you can understand if you already know other Slavic languages, especially if you know Russian. So let's go. I really love Slavic languages and I speak Russian, Bulgarian, and I have got a smattering of Ukrainian, which I'm currently learning. And I want to know from you as well if you speak any Slavic language. If yes, which one? Just leave a comment below. Right, so let's start. First of all, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my experience in Ukraine. Actually, I've been there twice. The first time was in 2018, and the second time was a year later in 2019. I've been to Lviv and to Kiev, the capital city of Ukraine, and both cities are really beautiful. I like them both. And I was really surprised by Lviv because it didn't look Soviet at all, actually. It was like, I don't know, like an Austrian city or an Hungarian city. It was part of the Austrian Empire. And it's really beautiful. There are a lot of beautiful places there to visit. And also, Kiev is a very beautiful city and is really worth a visit, actually. It's really sad what's happening right now in Ukraine. The ongoing events are really bad, and I really hope that everything's gonna end soon. And my experience there was really beautiful. But both times was everything was right because people there are really friendly, and so I really felt like at home. The only thing that I didn't really like was that when I was in Lviv, I spoke Russian and not all people were really happy with it. Okay, now I can understand. Now it's different. Now I understand it. But back at that time, I was just a tourist. So what's the point? The only language I could speak was Russian. And so it was not my fault if I only knew Russian at that time. Right now, if I get the chance to get back to Ukraine, I will probably speak Ukrainian because I'm learning it, and so I can speak it. And that's another thing. But back in 2018, I couldn't speak any Ukrainian at all, and so Russian was the only way I could go there with. And so let's start with my comparison. Actually, the first thing I like to talk about is the lexicon. The Ukrainian lexicon is pretty easy to learn if you speak Russian or another Slavic language like Polish, especially. Actually, linguists classified Ukrainian as an Oriental Slavic language, as an Eastern Slavic language, but it also has a lot in common with Polish, which is a Western Slavic language. And so it's like something in between Russian and Polish. So basically the knowledge of both Polish and Russian will help you like a lot in the process of learning Ukrainian. I don't speak Polish at all, but still I can understand like a lot of the Ukrainian language. I'd say like maybe 70 to 80% of it in its written form. When a language is spoken, then I can understand pretty less, actually, like I don't know, maybe 50% of it, even though when people speak slowly, then it gets easier for me. Also, I've been watching an Ukrainian series called Дежурный врач. Well, actually, Дежурный врач is Russian. I don't remember right now the name of it in Ukrainian, but as the last seasons haven't been dubbed into Russian, I've watched them in Ukrainian with Russian titles, and actually this way I've learned to understand, I've trained myself to understand Ukrainian even better, and so I can say that maybe I can understand like 60% of it right now. And I wanted to say that words in Ukrainian, that Ukrainian words are really similar to Russian words and also to Polish words as well. And so the knowledge of both Polish and Russian will help you a lot. But even if you just know one of the two languages, or even if you just only know another Slavic language, like say Bulgarian, Serbian, anyway, you will understand quite a big amount of Ukrainian words, and so that's really good actually. And that's it for the lexicon. Another important aspect of the Ukrainian language and of languages in general is grammar. So we're saying that another important aspect of the Ukrainian language and of every language in general is the grammar. Actually, Ukrainian grammar is pretty similar to the Russian grammar. So if you know Russian grammar, then it's gonna be easy to learn the Ukrainian grammar as well. Also, the Polish grammar will help you a lot, and in general, the grammar of every single Slavic language, with the sole exception of Bulgarian and Macedonian, because Bulgarian and Macedonian don't use cases anymore. In Ukrainian, you're gonna find cases just like in Russian and Polish, or Serbian and all the other Slavic languages, basically. So and also they have the aspects, so like the imperfective and perfective verbs, just like in Russian, just like in every single Slavic language. So actually, if you already know a Slavic language, then this is definitely gonna help, even from a grammatical point of view, basically. And also the knowledge of other languages, like for example Greek, which also has the aspects. So that's it for the grammar. What about pronunciation? Pronunciation is actually fairly easy because unlike Russian, you pronounce Ukrainian the same way you write it. I mean, you just have to know the letters, and you know that this letter is pronounced like this, and that other letter is pronounced like that way. And so there's not gonna be any surprises at all, basically. Unlike Russian, where, for example, you write O, but then you say ha, you write E, and then you say yeah. I mean, it's gonna be actually easier in Ukrainian, so don't worry. When it comes to pronunciation, you'll be on a safer ground. And what's more is that actually many Ukrainians speak like a mix of both Ukrainian and Russian. Like this is called Surgic. And so if you already know Russian pronunciation, then it's gonna be really easy for you to understand Surgic speakers, because they use they pronounce words very similarly to Russian speakers. And actually, another important aspect that you have to consider when you're learning Ukrainian is that people there don't pronounce g like Russians. They say h. So, for example, they say говорити and not говорить like in Russian. So the word speak. And this is actually nice. Actually, I like this way of pronouncing the g. But anyway, they also have the g sound, but it's another letter, and they only use it in a handful of words. So basically, they don't have this sound. They don't use it quite a lot, like unlike Russian or other Slavic languages. Why am I learning Ukrainian? Well, actually, I've always been in love with Ukraine as a country. Actually, this country has always fascinated me. I remember when I was younger, when I was like 15, 16, and there were some Ukrainian care workers here in Italy. And so listening to the language was just beautiful to my ears. It was just beautiful for me. And so I wanted to learn this language, and also I like the fact that it's considered to be like the biggest country in Europe, because Russia is like a country between Europe and Asia, so it's not counted as a European country. And so Ukraine is the biggest one in Europe, in our continent, and this has always fascinated me because I like big countries where there's a lot to see, there's a lot to visit. And so this also played a role in my decision of learning Ukrainian. And also my love for languages, for Slavic languages particularly, has played an important role. And so I've been learning it for a couple of months now, and I really love it, actually. And many people have decided to learn it as well because of the ongoing events. Some people have decided to learn it because they've become interested in Ukrainian culture, in the Ukrainian literature, music, and so on. Some others because they've met people from Ukraine that have migrated to their countries. So that there's actually a lot of reasons to learn Ukrainian, even though like half of the population in Ukraine, so like 20 million people there speak Russian as their native tongue. But actually, we have to consider that now, because of the ongoing events, many of the native Russian speakers have switched to Ukrainian because they don't want to use the Russian language because they consider it to be the language of the aggressor. And I mean, actually, this seems legit, even though, I mean, it's not the topic of this video, but Russian is also the language of a literature, of a great literature, and so actually it's more than just politics. But anyway, Russian is a language, and Ukrainian is another language. They're very similar, but they're not the same. And knowing Russian will help you a lot in the process of learning the Ukrainian language, in understanding the Ukrainian language, learning it faster. But the only knowledge of Russian won't help you with Ukrainian. You have, of course, to learn to spend time with the Ukrainian language by listening to original material like podcasts, news, something like this. And also when out reading and listening to music, and of course when it will be possible, so traveling to Ukraine, because it's a very beautiful country and there's a lot more to see beyond Kiev and Lviv, like for example Odessa, which is on the Black Sea, and must be really beautiful. Actually, I've been told it's a very beautiful city. I haven't been there yet, but I'm very looking forward to going there pretty soon. All right, and so the last thing that I wanted to show you were some examples of of the Ukrainian language. Like I have here with myself the Atlas of Khachapuri, which is actually a Georgian dish. So it's not Ukrainian, but when I was in Kiev, I went to a Georgian restaurant and they had this Atlas, and as I'm a fan of Georgian cuisine, I had to take it. And so you can see Привет, this is like in Russian Привет, Atlas Khachapuri. Actually, Ukrainian has different ways to write the I sound, the vowel I. So it's like Привет, but actually it's pronounced in different ways. So actually it's not even the same thing, right? So, and here you go. We have different types of khachapuri. By the way, if you ever get a chance of going to Georgia, just go and taste them all because they're really great. They're tasty, but okay. So, for example, мегрулі традиційні хачапурі з сиром сулугуні відрізняється від інших тим, що сир кладуть ще й зверху, тому він важить більше за інших грам на 70. So you can recognize probably a lot of words if you already speak Russian or another Slavic language. For example, традиційні, that's traditional. Сиром, this is with cheese. Відрізняється, I don't know what this means. Maybe it's like it comes with, but I'm not sure. Інших, this is others. Що that. Тому, I think is like because of this, but I'm not sure. Більше is like more or bigger. Храм, gram. Іспанські кударі, класичний пиріг з товстим тістом, в якості начинки нарізається м'ясо шматками та підсмажується з луком. Іноді це ведмеже м'ясо або м'ясо дикого козла по-грузинськи джикві. Начинки, this is like something you put inside. Then м'ясо, meat. З луком, look, this is onion. Козла, I think this is goat, or Gruzinski in Georgian. So actually there are a lot of constructions that are very similar to Russian and the other Slavic languages as well. Okay, and now the last thing that I'd like to show you are some root signs taken from the photos that I've taken during my stay in Ukraine in 2018 and 2019 as well. Куріння вбиває. Smoking kills you. Вірменський катедральний собор Успіння Пресвятої Богородиці. Українська єпархія Вірменської апостольської церкви. You can understand pretty much everything if you speak Russian here. Kiev, this is the name of the city in Ukrainian. In Russian would be Kiev with E. And here's the menu of the hotel where I stayed. Like for example, яєчня з 2 яєць із шинкою, гарнір овочеві, сир, масло, тост, джем, сік фруктовий. If you speak Russian, it's almost everything is almost everything here is understandable. And here finally, Національний художній музей України. This is also pretty much the same. And if you've ever wondered how you can learn Ukrainian, actually there are a lot of resources online and in bookstores as well. Actually, I can recommend Hasimis course book, Ukrainian with Ease. It comes in French, and also in it's going to be published in German as well. And if you speak Italian, then there's this good course book which I have recently bought and I'm using. It's really good. Right, so that was all. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you found it interesting, and I also hope that maybe you decided to learn Ukrainian after watching my video. If you have any questions related to Ukrainian or to other Slavic languages, or in general about languages, if you have any suggestions for upcoming videos, just leave a comment. Please press the like button, subscribe to my channel, and see you soon. Bye! До побачення!